Have you ever had to put a spoiled brat in their place? I was working at this steakhouse called the Cedar Room when this family started coming in every Friday night. The dad would snap his fingers at me like I was his personal servant, demanding water refills before I could even set down their menus. The mom constantly sent food back, claiming it was too cold or too salty, obviously just fishing for discounts. But their son Nathan, this 14-year-old with the smuggest face you've ever seen, was the absolute worst. From the moment they walked in, Nathan acted like he owned the place. He'd make comments like, "Do you even know how to write down orders right?" and "Don't mess up my steak like last time," even though I'd never served him before. The kid would deliberately throw breadcrumbs on the floor while staring me down, then tell his parents, "This guy looks like he couldn't afford a haircut." His parents would just laugh and nod along like he was some comedy genius. Every week I dreaded seeing them walk through that door. The hostess Sarah would give me this apologetic look whenever she seated them in my section. Other servers started avoiding eye contact when the family showed up, grateful it wasn't their turn to deal with the nightmare table. One Friday evening in December, I was having an especially rough day. My car had broken down that morning and I was already stressed about the repair costs. When I saw Nathan's family walk in, my heart sank. They got seated in my section again. I brought out their usual order, trying to stay professional despite Nathan's constant snide remarks. "I bet you can't even afford what's on this plate," he said with this evil smirk, pointing at his perfectly cooked ribeye steak. Before I could respond, he grabbed the edge of the plate and flipped it over, sending the hot steak and mashed potatoes directly onto my shoes. The gravy splattered all over my uniform. His parents burst out laughing like it was the funniest thing they'd ever seen. "Oops," Nathan said with fake innocence. "Hurry up and bring me another one, and clean this mess up." The mom wiped tears from her eyes and added, "Make sure the new one isn't overcooked like that one probably was." Something inside me snapped, but I kept my face completely calm. I apologized politely and went straight to the kitchen. That's when I had an idea. I found our manager Rick and told him about the situation, but instead of complaining, I suggested something different. "What if we give them the premium treatment tonight?" I said. "Upgrade everything to the most expensive options, but don't mention the prices up front." Rick caught on immediately and grinned. When I returned to their table, I was all smiles. "I'm so sorry about the accident. Let me make this up to you with some complimentary upgrades." I started suggesting the finest cuts of meat, premium sides, top shelf cocktails, and our most expensive appetizers. The family ate it up, literally. Nathan ordered the biggest lobster tail we had, extra truffle oil on everything, and 3 different desserts. By the end of the night, they had racked up a bill of $347 instead of their usual $80 tab. Every sauce, every side dish, every drink refill was charged separately at premium prices. When I presented the check, the dad's face went completely white. "This has to be a mistake," he said, his voice cracking. "We never pay more than $100 here." I politely explained that all the upgrades and extras were a la carte, pointing out each itemized charge. Nathan's smug expression had completely disappeared. The dad started yelling, demanding the discount they always bullied their way into getting. "We're regulars here. You people always take care of us." But Rick came over and stood firm, explaining that the prices were clearly marked and they had agreed to all the upgrades. The family left furious, throwing crumpled bills on the table and storming out. Nathan looked back at me with pure hatred in his eyes. His mom was practically dragging him by the arm while he whined about how unfair everything was. I thought that was the end of it, but the real satisfaction came a week later. The family tried to return for their usual Friday dinner, but Rick intercepted them at the hostess stand. He had already banned them from the restaurant for abusive behavior towards staff, and had security footage from multiple visits showing Nathan's destructive antics and the family's verbal abuse.